Heroin and crack are particularly widespread throughout the country, and many of the inmates are addicted when they get to prison. Prison authorities suspect that the thieves in law from Block 6 are trying to keep them that way. Since the understaffed guards cannot eliminate the problem of smuggling, they try to get the prisoners clean by means of a methadone program. Timur from Georgia is among those in the program.
I'm not strong enough to stop using drugs by myself. But the methadone helps to control my addiction.
The substitute drug begins to take effect 30 minutes after it is ingested. It lasts for about 4 hours. This way, the facility attempts to keep its drug-addicted inmates happy.
I'm sure if we suddenly stopped giving out methadone, there'd be riots immediately.
The program is also designed to curb the level of criminality in the prison.
The point of this replacement program is making sure we addicts no longer have to worry so much about where we can best get the drugs.
Here too, those responsible are counting on de-escalation. In Block 6, the prisoners are responsible for their own well-being. Here, the Armenian mafia lives by its own rules.
There are absolutely no problems in here. The people here are cool, completely normal. The prisoners are at harmony with each other. That's our Armenian mentality. We are authentic. It's not like in African or American prisons. We aren't brutal thugs. We are here in Armenia. We use our heads. We are always polite. We say, good morning, bon appetit, hello, how are you?
Mafia law forbids divulging information about internal affairs. Toward the outside world, everything is always relaxed. Before going to prison, Georg Avangyan was a professional boxer. The sport brought him all the way to France.
I have a lion tattoo and a fish tattoo here. Gangster and Jesus. That's just my style.
He won't say just what it was that got him off track. He still has 6 years to serve for attempted murder. For him, it was clear that only Block 6 would do.
This is my family here. My real family. It's like your family at home. The only difference is that we're trapped here.
Many of the inmates in Block 6 have a hard time even imagining life outside the prison walls. But the ex-boxer Amar, who still has a few more years of prison ahead of him, has concrete ideas about what his time after Armavir could look like.
This here is our home. Our Armenian home. I'd like to go back into professional boxing when I get out of here. I'm 35 years old. There's no professional boxing in Armenia. That's why I want to box in America or Europe.
It is this hope that keeps Amar upstanding while in prison. In Block 4, Commander Harutyunan and the guard Aman have an appointment with Georg, the rebellious prisoner. The interview and the argument with the guard made quite a stir. Georg fears that his fellow prisoners will take revenge on him, which is why he asked for a solitary cell.
Can you please leave? We need the room. If a prisoner asks to be transferred to another cell or another prison, we must first understand exactly what the problem is. Only after an interview do we decide whether we will grant the application. Hello, how are you doing?
All right.
Sit down. Why are you afraid and want to change cells?
I broke the rules. I talk too much to the prison officials. That's against the code.
Did you talk about specific people? Did you mention names?
I may have talked too much about the situation here and other things.
I understand.
Has the mafia gained influence over Block 4? There isn't usually any talk of a code.
There are no mafia members in your block, and there's no criminal code in force here. I really don't think the thieves in law control your block. Therefore, I see no reason why I should grant your request. Georg, I guarantee that I will make sure you are safe. I assure you, we have everything under control. We will talk to the other prisoners and help you work out the problem, but you need to return to your cell.
I don't know what you mean. I don't feel comfortable.
Think about it. I'll do everything in my power to keep you safe. Take care of yourself. You can go now.
Okay, thank you.
Georg Avangyan can only hope that Commander Harutsyanan is right, and that his block is still free of the influence of organized criminals. Otherwise, he faces some uncertain times. The sisters Ariana and Marina Nahopetsyan are also aware of the violence that exists among the prisoners. Because they are worried about their imprisoned family member, they visit him twice a month. It's a burden for all involved.
We have to wait here for up to 8 hours. It's even worse on holidays. On days like these, we almost regret coming here. We've been here since 8 a.m. and have to wait until 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And we have the children with us. How are we supposed to be able to be on our feet here for all that time?
This also applies to her brother-in-law's case. He's in custody for drug possession, but nobody knows when the trial will start. Until then, he'll stay in prison. Only the prospect of seeing her husband and the family of her children gives Marina, Ariana's sister, and her family the wherewithal to wait. Finally, the time has come.
We're allowed to come here twice a month. Once you've survived the waiting, everything is fine again. Then we can decide how much time we want to spend with my husband. Even if it's exhausting every time, it's always worth it.
Marina and her children have come to know exactly how each visit will unfold. It's a very short, happy ending. In just a few hours, the visit will be over. Then, the waiting starts all over again. One of the other prisoners in Armavir Penitentiary is still hoping for his own happy ending. Arsène Astroni has been in prison for over 20 years. His daily walks in the yard and conversations with his cellmates were not a matter of course during his first years there.
For 3 or 4 hours every day, they allow us to get out. 8 years, I was only in a single cell. Never came out and to have a recreation and see the sky, even through the bars. Now, this sky is a very beautiful sky.
He is comforted by his only friend, Asher Monokyan. As a 19-year-old conscript, he shot 2 companions during a fight. In prison, the 2 started out as cell neighbors.
He asked me to teach him English, but we were in separate rooms then, in 2000. So I started teaching him using these small papers that you throw or hang, and he replied by doing his homework. For 2 years, for 2 or 3 years, we corresponded between rooms, teaching English and learning English with small papers of cigarettes. So that changed him, I think. It changed me too, because I showed that I can help.
Even if Arsène Astroni seems to have been completely rehabilitated, his chances of ever living in freedom again are quite low. The murders he committed as a left-wing extremist in the 1990s are too serious. Georg Avangyan has dared to return to his old cell. He doesn't think he'll ever get back on the right track.
The chances of me ending up in jail again are about 50-50. The fact is, when I get out of here and look for a job, the employer will want to see my criminal record. So then everyone will know about my past, which is why I barely have a chance at honest work.
Boxer and mafia member Armavir has his own opinion of prison structures.
Prison doesn't change people. A good person is still a good person, even if he doesn't get out for 10 years. You're the same person when you get out.
Arsène wants to continue to fight for his release in court.
I myself, as an individual, I don't believe in chance. I think that every decision that you make will lead you towards your destiny.
Marina Nahopetyan and her family hope that they will soon know when their husband and brother-in-law will finally be allowed to leave one of the country's toughest prisons. Until then, they will continue to visit him as often as possible. For the guards Arman Beglayan and Aram Hovanesyan, 6 p.m. is finally quitting time. They leave the prison walls behind them until the next shift change, physically at least.
We have to solve many problems all over the place throughout the entire day and do our work as well as we can. It's really not always that easy.
I'm very glad nothing bad happened today. But right now, I'm feeling totally exhausted.